Hello, and welcome back to Fluent and Fearless, the podcast where we help you speak English with more clarity, more confidence, and while still remaining true to yourself. I'm Katherine Arthur, a speech-language pathologist, accent and pronunciation specialist, and a radio broadcaster. And I'm so glad you're here today because this episode is one that I care very deeply about, and not just as a speech-language pathologist, but as someone who sees every single day how much people rely on their voices and how often these voices are overworked and underappreciated. Now, did you know that World Voice Day is in April? Well, it is. It was April 16th, in fact. Now, World Voice Day is a global reminder that our voices are not just tools for communication, but our voices are essential parts of who we are. So today, we're going to talk about something that doesn't get nearly enough attention, and that's your voice. Not just how it sounds, but how it feels, how it functions, and how well it's actually supporting you in your everyday life. Now, we tend to think about our voices only when something goes wrong, when our speaking starts to feel strained, when our throat is tired at the end of a day, or when others start asking us to repeat ourselves. But our voice is working for us constantly. It carries our thoughts, our personality, our professionalism, and our presence in the world. And like anything else we use daily, it needs to be taken care of. And I'm going to show you just how to do that. It's easier than you think. So stay with me here on Fluent and Fearless. I'm Katherine Arthur. So let's start with something simple but important. If you speak for a living, your voice is not just part of your job, it is your job. And this is especially true if you're working in customer service and on the phone for hours every day, or leading meetings or teaching, working in healthcare, or interacting with the public regularly. Now, I want to speak directly to my ESL professionals for just a moment, because many of you are doing something incredibly demanding. You're not just using your voice all day, you're using your voice in a second language, which means your brain is working harder. Your body might be holding a lot more tension because of that, and that means your voice is often doing more work than you even realize. And yet, voice care, it's usually the last thing on your mind. That's because we tend to think about our voices only when something goes wrong. So here's the reality. A lot of professionals ignore their voice until there's a problem. So here's what I see all the time. People will push through that vocal fatigue. They'll try to talk over noise, take back-to-back calls with no breaks, and then they ignore that hoarseness that starts to build up in their voice, clearing their throat constantly, and they feel tension in their voice, but they keep going anyway because they feel like they have to, because there are job expectations, responsibilities. There are conversations that just can't wait. But over time, this creates a pattern where your voice is constantly in a state of strain. Most people assume that vocal strain only shows up as complete voice loss, like laryngitis, for example. But the signs are often more subtle. Vocal strain doesn't always show up dramatically. Sometimes it can show up quietly. Your voice might feel tired at the end of the day, or you need more effort to sound clear. Then, as a result, you avoid speaking up as much as you used to, and you start to feel less confident. And that's not because of what you know, but because of how you sound. If any of these sound familiar to you, well, your voice might be trying to tell you something. So to sum up, vocal strain can show up as frequent throat clearing, hoarseness or roughness, a feeling of effort or tightness when speaking, and reduced vocal endurance. And for ESL professionals, this can be even more frustrating. That's because you may already be thinking about pronunciation, word choice, or clarity, and now your voice itself feels like one more thing working against you. So taking care of your voice is not a luxury. Voice care is not optional. It's a professional skill. Think about it. Your voice affects how clearly you're understood. It affects how confident you sound. It affects how others perceive your expertise, and it affects how comfortable you feel when you're speaking. And perhaps most important of all, it affects how sustainable your communication is over time. Because if speaking starts to feel effortful, exhausting, or frustrating, Speaking no longer feels easy, and you start to lose participation. You speak less. You hesitate more. You second-guess yourself. And that's not because you lack ability, but because your voice doesn't feel reliable. So what can we do about this? Well, I've got 5 practical voice care strategies for busy professionals, and I'm going to make this as practical as possible. If you're using your voice all day, especially if you're in careers where you're on the phone all day long, such as a recruiter, or maybe you're a healthcare professional where you're speaking all day long with patients and their families and your colleagues, or perhaps you're an educator where you're lecturing students all day long, or really any profession where you're speaking and presenting and talking all day long. If you're a busy professional, here are 5 practical voice care strategies that I highly recommend. Number 1, hydration is non-negotiable. Think of your voice like a system that depends on moisture to function efficiently. Your vocal cords absolutely require moisture in order to remain supple and work properly. Think of hydration as the foundation of vocal health. So sip water consistently throughout your day, not just when your throat feels dry. Number 2, build small breaks into your day. Even 30 to 60 seconds of silence between phone calls can help your voice to reset. If possible, avoid continuous speaking for hours without pause. So respect your vocal limits. If your voice feels tired, this is not something to push through. Your voice needs time to recover. Number 3, lower your effort and don't push that volume. If you're speaking over noise, your instinct, it might be to get louder, but more volume often means more strain. Instead, get closer to your microphone if possible, reduce the background noise, or speak a little bit more slowly. Pay attention to your environment. Background noise, poor acoustics, or speaking over others can lead to overuse. When possible, adjust your environment instead of forcing your voice to compete. Number 4, reduce throat clearing. Now I know this is a habit for a lot of people, but repeated throat clearing is rough on your vocal cords. Try taking a small sip of water instead, or a gentle swallow. And strategy number 5, check for tension. This is a big one, especially for ESL speakers. Notice your jaw, neck, and shoulders when you speak. If they're tight, if you're feeling a lot of body tension, your voice is working harder than it needs to. So use efficient voice production. Let me explain. Many people unknowingly use excessive tension when speaking. Learning how to support your voice with breath and resonance can reduce strain significantly. For a closer look at how to reduce vocal tension, check out our previous Fluent and Fearless episode on Zoom fatigue. You can also get in touch with a speech-language pathologist like myself. Remember, we're the voice experts. Contact me at my website, pronouncespeech.com, and I'll send you some free stuff on taking care of your voice. Now here's a message for ESL professionals. If you're speaking English as a second language, I want you to hear this. If your voice feels tired, strained, or effortful, that's not a personal failure. It's often a sign that your system is overloaded. You're processing language, organizing thoughts, managing pronunciation, and communicating in real time in a language that's not your first. And that's a high-level skill. Your voice deserves support that matches that level of demand, because when your voice feels easier, everything else becomes easier too. Your speech will become more natural, your confidence will increase, and your presence, that becomes even stronger. So here's my professional perspective. In my work as a speech-language pathologist, I don't just focus on how people sound. I focus on how they feel when they speak. I look at the whole person, because your voice isn't something that's just mechanical. It's part of your identity. It shows your confidence, and it makes a connection with other people. Now, World Voice Day is a great reminder for us to pause and ask, is my voice working for me, or am I working hard just to use my voice? If you're working hard to use your voice, that's not something you have to go through alone. Try the strategies that I've just taught you. But if you think your voice problem may be a bit more severe, maybe you think it's something that these strategies really aren't going to help, then I strongly encourage that you see a voice expert in person, like a speech-language pathologist or an ear, nose, and throat doctor, because you might need a full in-person evaluation on your voice or a medical assessment. If you do have any concerns like this, then please see a speech-language pathologist, an ear, nose, and throat doctor, or see your healthcare provider. Now here's some final thoughts. World Voice Day is not just for singers or performers. It's for anyone, and I mean anyone who uses their voice to connect, contribute, and communicate, which means it's for you. So here's a simple reflection to take with you today. Ask yourself, is my voice supporting me, or am I constantly working to support my voice? If it's the second one, that's your sign, not to push harder, but to start caring for your voice in a more intentional way. That's because your voice is one of your most valuable personal and professional assets. It deserves care. Your voice deserves attention. And your voice deserves to feel as strong and natural as the thoughts you want to express. So today, in honor of World Voice Day, take a moment to listen to your voice. Not to just what it says, but to how it feels. That's because your voice is not just how you speak. It's how you show up. And when your voice feels strong, supported, and reliable, you don't just sound better, you feel more like yourself. And with that, thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If this episode resonated with you, feel free to share it with someone who uses their voice every day, which, let's be honest, that's just about everyone. And if you use your voice every day and you speak English as a second language, you know you've already accomplished something remarkable. You're working, collaborating, and building relationships in a language that's not your first. But even highly skilled professionals sometimes feel their spoken communication doesn't fully reflect their knowledge and their skills. For example, people will occasionally ask you to repeat yourself. Meetings might move quickly, and sometimes you're not sure where to jump in. Or maybe you just want your voice to sound as confident as you truly are. I've got a free guide that can help you with all of that. It's called Speak with Confidence, and it's filled with tips to help you sound more natural and more professional when speaking American English. You can get your free copy of this guide today. All you have to do is go to pronouncespeech.com, pronouncespeech.com. Click the blue button near the top of the page, and that free guide will be on its way to you. It's that simple. Speak with Confidence. It's a free guide for ESL professionals. Again, all you have to do is go to pronouncespeech.com, pronouncespeech.com. Click the blue button for the free Speak with Confidence guide, and your free guide will be on its way to you. So now get out there and take care of that precious voice of yours, and take care of yourself too. And be sure to connect with us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook at Pronounce Speech and Accent Specialists. I'm Katherine Arthur. That's Katherine with a K in case you want to connect with me on LinkedIn. So look us up on social media and drop me a message, because I've met some wonderful, wonderful people over the years, and I look forward to meeting you as well. And I really do enjoy talking to each and every one of you. I've learned so much. So again, Katherine Arthur here. Until next time, keep speaking, keep showing up, and keep reminding yourself that your voice deserves to be heard. Thanks again for listening, and I'll talk to you next time on Fluent and Fearless.